Alright, good morning everyone. Mike here with the National Weather Service office in Cleveland. We are going to do a little Facebook Live video with you, interactive, for the next 5 or 10 minutes and show you what we have done with the upgrade to a lake effect snow warning for portions of the Snowbelt, as well as a little bit of the science that's behind the scenes science that we've looked at this morning. Kind of thought this would be a teachable moment, for educational moment for our weather weenies out there, weather enthusiasts that kind of like this type of stuff. So we'll kind of go into some of the details of what we've seen over the past couple hours and what we're going to see over the next the rest of the afternoon today. So we'll wait a couple of minutes and see if folks get on. If you have some questions, I'm monitoring the chat portions of the window, so you can put some chat questions in there, and we'll get started here. So anyway, if you haven't heard, we have upgraded to a lake effect snow warning for the greater Cleveland area, mainly for the eastern part of the Cleveland area, eastern Cuyahoga, Geauga, and southeastern portions of Lake County, mainly along and south of the highway or Interstate 90 corridor. In fact, I'll put that up real quick and show you the map here. So again, this is the lake effect snow warning that's highlighted in that kind of a teal color or green on your screen. Ashtabula, you're still in the advisory. So same thing for Crawford County, PA. You're still in the advisory. You're still going to see snow, just not as heavy or intense as the areas that are in the warning area. And then Erie, PA, you guys are still in the lake effect snow warning as well. That's ongoing. So that's the current look at that. And that's going to go all the way through tonight as well, early Saturday morning. Want to show you a couple real cool things real quickly. I'm going to put back the radar. So we have this band that's set up, and it started developing right about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. We started noticing organization of a band on the western end of Cuyahoga County, the western parts of Cleveland, and that has now pushed into the greater Cleveland area, right through downtown, and then into Shaker Heights, the Heights area of the eastern Cleveland, and some of the higher terrain out east of us. So I want to show you, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now this is all low level. Let me get back out of here. This band is developing all the way to the western part of Lake Erie right now, and in fact, I'm going to show you a real quick tool. This is actually the perfect little setup for wind direction and wind flow to get the longest fetch possible off of western Lake Erie into the Cleveland area. In fact, I'm going to show you this measuring tool. So we get about a 280, 290 degree surface flow, low level flow off of western portions of the Lake Erie. That's our maximum potential fetch that comes off of the lake into the Cleveland area. And this distant tool shows up to about 100 miles, 95 to 100 miles is the longest fetch that we can get from the lake to get into the Cleveland area. And that's all. And this is starting all the way close to Toledo, offshore Toledo, and then pushing across the Lake Erie Islands into the Cleveland area. And you can see that on the radar here. It stretches back all the way to the Lake Erie Islands. And this band, this kind of more organized band, is just constantly forming, and this is not going to change much through the afternoon. It may wobble just a little bit, but this band is going to be the more organized band for the greater Cleveland metro area, especially portions of the eastern part of the area. So again, you see Shaker Heights, out toward Mayfield Heights, Chesterland, even Chardon. We've already had reports of 8 inches, several reports of 8 inches of snow, and it's continuing to snow very hard out there. We also have another band that we can see out here. Let me get this little clicker. And we also have other smaller bands affecting portions of Geneva, Ashtabula County, and then into Crawford County. And what we cannot see is another band that's actually starting from St. Clair Lake. It's stretching all the way across Lake Erie and hitting in the Erie, PA area. But it's such a low level. It's the radar is overshooting that band, so we can't really see it on the radar at this time. Now, I want to show you really something really cool with the 3D with this. I'm going to zoom in here to the greater Cleveland area. I'm going to do a 3D snapshot. I'm going to bring this over here, and we can actually see this in 3D, the bands. And this band is only about 7,000 to about 9,000, maybe up to 10,000 feet tall. It's a very shallow band, and that's what we typically see in this lake effect. But it's a very, very stout band. In fact, we zoom in here with this 3D, we can see that there are some towers in this band that are approaching up to 10,000 feet. So that's pretty significant when it comes to lake effect snowfall. And this is where we're seeing those 1 inch per hour rates with these bands coming in into the greater Cleveland, eastern Cleveland area. So again, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to kind of go in here and I'm going to clear that out real quickly, just there. So again, we can see that in the Cleveland area, this band is approaching up to 10,000 feet with the reflectivities and the very, very unstable atmosphere that's coming into the greater Cleveland area. So with that said, I want to show you a couple other things that are really cool. So I'm going to show you a couple live pictures. This is actually out Fairport Harbor. If you look at Fairport Harbor right now, it's actually pretty quiet. They're kind of in between bands, and when you're in between bands, you actually have the sun pop out. But we can see that band off in the distance. This is at Fairport Harbor looking, I believe, west-southwest. So while it's not snowing very much or not very hard at Fairport Harbor right now, we're looking off toward the south and southwest, and we can see that band, heavy band that's affecting the Cleveland area off in the distance right there. In fact, the sun is popping out here at our office right behind me, and I can see actually the sun right now, but off toward the east it is very dark where those heavier bands coming through. So you might actually drive through where the sun pops out for a little bit and then drive into that wall of snow on the eastern side of Cleveland. Here's another picture or live video from Metro Parks Lake Erie Bluffs. You can see they're in the band right there with heavier snow. And this video out of Chardon is impressive right here. This is downtown Chardon right now looking live, and its visibility is less than a quarter mile with almost near whiteout conditions at times, and very heavy snow coming down in downtown Chardon right now underneath that heavy mega band that's coming off of Lake Erie at this time. So how much more are we expecting? So we just posted this on our Twitter and Facebook page. You can see that what we've already had fallen through last night, early this morning. In addition to that, we're looking at storm totals, possibly likely 6 to 8 plus inches in the warning area, but more likely pockets of up to 12 plus inches, pockets in parts of eastern Cuyahoga, northern Geauga, eastern northern Geauga County, and extreme southern Lake County, pockets of up to 12 plus inches with this band through tonight. Also, same thing for Erie County and the lake effect snow warning. You guys will see 8 to 12 plus inches in the lake effect snow warning areas of Erie County. If you're in the advisory area, expect 3 to 6 inches with locally higher amounts possible, but in the warning areas you're expecting that up to 6 to 12 plus inches, and that's why we have those warnings out as well. So again, ogo.com is a very helpful tool to look around at all the live cameras. If you're doing any travel, remember, if you're traveling in the lake effect snow warning areas, it will be very difficult. So allow it a lot of extra time and a lot of patience. And there are restricted or reduced speed limits on the local highways, especially out east of town, going on the interstates. Remember that those speed limits are reduced because of the lake effect snow that's ongoing. So again, we're looking at some of the cameras here. Slow go on the east side. Here's a camera from Mayfield Heights area, looking at let's see around the Beechwood area. Pretty heavy snow here. Beechwood. This is looking at the eastern edge or eastern side of that area on the Ogo campsite. So very helpful there. So again, let's see if we have any questions. Let's see. Do we have? I just saw questions. Okay, so let's see. Erica, thanks for joining us. Heidi, thanks for joining us. Richard asked if Ashtabula will be upgraded. It doesn't look like it needs to be upgraded at this time. We're looking at, let me see if I can bring over another, give me just a second. So let's see here. Where did I put? There's another graphic I was going to show you guys on here, and I can't find it. Give me a second. Okay. I have the radar. Let's see, Burke right now is half a mile and heavy snow at Burke in downtown Cleveland at this time. Well, I can't seem to find it, but there was a here we go. Here we go. Give me just a second. Okay, so this is a here we go. This is an image from one of radar, not radar, high-res model sites that shows this mega band kind of sitting in place from a west to east orientation across the Cleveland area most of this afternoon. This is the NAM 3 kilometer, and it's kind of showing this band kind of sitting still or stationary, nearly stationary, over through the afternoon, early evening hours across Cuyahoga, Geauga counties, even into Trumbull County as well, where those areas may see several inches of snow. But the heaviest snow is going to be right initially the eastern parts of Cuyahoga and Geauga County. And again, you also see a little bit of a connection, Huron connection, with that band that's coming off Huron down across Lake Erie into northwest PA and southwest New York as well, and that's where the other lake effect snow warnings as well. So let me put back the radar and see if we have any more questions while we are on here. Okay, so Heidi says you're in Crawford County. Let us know how much snow you get in Crawford County, Heidi. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thanks for joining us, Mike and John as well. How about Bedford? Bedford, you guys are going to probably see 6 to 10 inches of snow there in Bedford on the east side of town. Okay, thanks again. Be careful out there. A lot of extra time. So again, just want to show you a little bit of the science about this band. Again, Mother Nature always throws us a curveball with lake effect. Very tricky. It all depends on wind flow and basically the environment, the local, very local environment. And these things have a tendency to, once they get started, it's hard to get disrupted, and they kind of create their own environment around it. So this band that we're watching, that's starting all the way through across the western portion of Lake Erie into the greater Cleveland area, seems to be the one that's taking over, the main band that's going to be taking over for the rest of the afternoon. So again, if you're traveling anywhere in the downtown Cleveland area eastward, expect travel to be very difficult and conditions to vary very greatly over a very small distance. You can be sunny and the sun's popping out and very little snow falling, and literally a mile down the road it could be almost near whiteout conditions and very heavy snow with very poor visibility and driving conditions. So take that in consideration. All right, thanks for joining us. If you have any other questions, feel free to join us or put them on chat or on Facebook or Twitter, and give us your reports. If you have snowfall reports, we'd love to have those as well. So again, stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.